This is the instructions for bike 9, the FJR1300. Tyre pressures are 36 front, 42 rear. On the new bike we have 3 keys located on the key ring. The ignition key, which is the fat one with the Yamaha sign on, the pannier key, which is the smaller black fob, and the sat-nav key. The panniers can be opened with the ignition key, but this could be fraught with danger, i.e. you could break the ignition key off, so please don't use it for the panniers. Okay, we'll go over to the ignition. Simple turn to the right and you'll see the control panel light up. You have the neutral light on and also the ABS light on. The ABS light will go off after a few meters when you ride the bike. If I go over the controls, you have the rev counter, then you have the speedo. If you notice, you have the fuel at the top, the speed on the right hand side where it says 0 at the moment, and please beware, this is not a calibrated speedo. You then have a mode of sport or touring, I'll go over that in a minute, and then you have the time. On the right hand side you have the gear that's selected, in this case neutral. You have the computer screen, currently it's showing the rise and fall of the screen. And then you have 3 displays, the odometer, the temperature of the engine, and the range that you have left before you need to fill up fuel. Okay, going over the controls, on the left hand side you have the light switch, which is currently on dip. To go to full beam you press the top, to go back to dip is in the middle, and to flash is the bottom where it says pass. It's a release trigger. Now you then have the indicator, left and right as per normal and cancelling as per normal. Underneath you have the horn, and then we go over to the right hand side. The top one where you see 2 arrows is used in conjunction with the computer. Now if you go to the back where the BMW flashlight is and main beam, you have a menu button. If you press it once, now let me go over to the computer screen, you see the screen has changed from the screen going up and down to the heated grips. Now if you press that button up once, you will notice that you have an arrow showing that it's the first level of heated grip. If you press it twice, you have 2, and if you press it 3 times, it's the full power. Now if you go back and start pressing down button, you notice it's gone down to 2, to 1, to off. Now if you press the menu button again, you will see display mode. Now if we press the arrow key again, it will show you different displays. That one is the range, fuel average, and current fuel average. The trip meters, trip 1 and 2, and the odometer. Now to reset the trips, you go over to the left hand side of the screen and there's a button there that says reset. If you press it, it will actually reset the mileage. Okay, so it's up to you whether you want to use it or not. I don't know. So we then go back to the original display. Now if you press the menu button again, you go to the screen going up and down. As you can see, the screen going up and the screen going down. So that is the menu. Now underneath you will see the speed control, or sorry, cruise control. If you press that button, you will get a little clock on the left hand side. That will tell you that your cruise control is on. To set it, you press the set key. To stop it, you either throttle back on the accelerator to neutral position, and then to reset it you just press res, or you can switch it off just by pressing that button there. Okay, pretty straightforward. Now if we go over to the right hand side, you have your isolation switch, stop, which is the kill switch, then run and start. Simple as that. Okay. Under there you've got the mode switch. Now there are two modes in the FJR1300, the sports mode and touring mode. Now if I go back to the display, you see there is the S currently displayed, which is telling you it's in sports mode. Now if you go back and press the switch to the left, you will then see it's going to touring. Back to sports, back to touring. Now please do not use this switch while you're on the go. The only time you can change modes is when the bike is stopped. Okay? This is important. Do not change it while you are riding. Okay, underneath there you've got the hazard warning lights. As you can see, they are lighting up nicely. Okay, that goes through the main controls. What we will do now is show you the storage cabinet. Inside the storage cabinet you will have this little case. Now this case opens to reveal all the cards that we use. Suggest that you keep them located in there. This can only be opened once the ignition is on. If you switch the ignition off and try to open it, it will not open, so it is safety for it. Okay, now we go over to the checks. Obviously we'll start with the fuel. To put fuel in the tank, pull that back, turn the key, fuel in, glug glug glug, push down, take key out, end of subject. Now the hydraulics, this will be the clutch hydraulics. You'll notice there is a level on the back which is showing fine it's on the clutch, and on the brake you find a similar display. Okay, now to check the water is a bit more complex. If you notice where the pannier is, there is a nut just underneath. Where is it?
It's there.
Can you see that?
Can't see the screen.
Just there is a nut that you undo and it comes out. Hang on, can you do that again because I didn't get it out. There's a nut under there that you turn to the left.
I'm going to have to put it back in now.
So I'll just take it out then.
Alright.
And it comes out, put it to one side, and then you take the panel off. Slide it forward, and it comes forward. Now, to get to the, if you can see, there is the panel just there. I don't know whether you can see it or not. Can you try pointing to it, Mike?
Yes, there.
Yeah, there it is. And you can see the top line is the maximum and the bottom is the minimum. Now you can just about see the fluid just below the top, so that's where it needs to be. Now to replace the panel,
locate the bottom.
yeah, locate the bottom and then push it back. Now underneath there are two holes for that nut to go in. You want to go into the top one. Okay. The panel should look like that. This panel can be located in a different position where it goes inside the fairing. Can you make sure it's on the side like you see there? Okay. Right, to check the oil, hang on a sec. You notice there is the oil gauge there. It's pretty much like the BMWs, and on the right you'll see two spots, minimum and maximum. Can you make sure it is towards the minimum, which this one is? And to top up the oil, simple, straightforward in there. Alright, the panniers. Right, to use the correct key to open them, you put it in the key, turn it, and then press the left hand side. You'll notice that you've also got a handle on it, but to just open it, you just use the left hand side and open the panniers. Okay? Close. Now if you want to take the pannier off, same process, but you actually use the handle and they come on. Okay, put them on. If you notice that you have a, where is it?
That's it, I'm just lining it up.
I'm just trying to find it on the camera.
Yeah, right.
Can you move it away for a second?
Yeah.
There it is. There is a rubber bung there that these have to fit in. Okay. And then he slips into, and these close up and lock up. Brilliant. Right, we'll now go over the emergency lights, which is a lot easier than the BMW was. On the left hand side you'll notice a little switch. Now if you press it once, it changes colour to blue, but then all the blue lights will start going. As you can see from the front, side and reverse. Okay, now once the blue lights are activated, the horn becomes the siren. You don't have to do anything, it automatically triggers the siren. You can press it once and keep pressing once only, and it will go through the stages of the wail, the wah-wah. Now to stop the siren, you tap it twice. I'm not going to demonstrate this because it's going to make a hell of a noise. So I hope that is clear. Now if you press the switch again, white lights at the front will come on. If you can see them flashing. So, but you can't use flashing white lights without blue lights, so please be aware of this. And to stop it totally, just press again and it goes back to green. So that's green, blue, red, back to green again. Okay?
Not really going to need me for this.
Now when you do your handovers, you will find various aspects of kit in the panniers which you must check. You've got your spill kit, you've got your blood bags, you've got your bungees, you have your cargo net, you have your gauges, that's your depth gauge, tyre pressure gauge, and you have your torch. You've got your ice kit and you've got your job pads. Now you will have 2 new leads which will start appearing on all bikes. Now there will be a separate video on these, but basically what these are used for is to charge the battery if it ever gets flat. There is a cord there that will fit a Optimate 2 charger, but the leads will make sure that if they slip in, you can use an Optimate 2 early charger, which is that one, and also the BMW charger, which is that one. Okay, now the UN3373 bag will be in one pannier. That will get all the samples. You will also have a tank bag. Now this tank bag can be used and will be used currently to store all of this kit, and it just slips on to the tank and is secure. Now to release it, if you go around there and just pull on the bottom, it just releases. But this also can be stored in the tank bag. Just going over that again. He says. Securely on, easy to off, and that will be stored in the pannier. Okay, obviously if there's any questions, please feel free to call Mike or me and we can go over it. Cheers. One of the most important things that people wanted was a light, just in case it was dark, to write out the pads and that. And on the FJR, there is a little switch by the rear offside pannier. When you switch it on, you'll notice there is a light on the pole. Can you see it going on and off? That is the light that will give you the ability to write the job pads out. Nice little trick, that. Right, I'm going to go over taking the side strip off to get to the water level again. Underneath you'll see the nut there, but there's also another hole just below it. That's for the second position of the side. So what we'll do is we'll undo the nut, make sure you don't lose it, take the panel off, you push it forward, take it off, check the water level down there, and then to put it on, if you put the back bit in first, slip it back, and then just do the nut up again, but make sure it's on the top hole. And make sure the strip is exactly the position that you see it. To alter the height of the seat, you need to unlock it by putting the key in the lock just below the seat, turning the key, and the seat will come away. Take the seat off, and you will find high and low. Currently the seat is set to high. To change it, you just lift the bars and go across to the low. Make sure clips are in, and just clip the seat back in again and remove the key.